Yeah, Retail Rapids time again, everyone. In today's episode, I have a situation two situations that are very surprising. The first one, unfortunately, has happened before. The second situation is a first in my hopefully not too much longer career as a cashier. Um, I started to double up on my college courses start next month, and Lord willing, will be done by the end of next August. That's August of 2021. So anyway, as a lot of you know, the job of a cashier, there's a lot of unknowns as a cashier. Like you never can know or predict accurately who is going to come through your line, right? Um, this first situation I'm going to talk to you about. So this was this middle-aged black lady, probably in her 40s, right? Um, she has done a good deed, okay, and she lets this white man um, ahead of her. Um, and why is this significant? Well, because unfortunately, a lot of parts in the South, there's still that racial tension thing. But where I live here in the Greensboro, North Carolina area, fortunately, does not exist, or I should say, it does not exist. Could it still happen? Yeah, but about 95% of the time, um, racial tension in this part of the South does not exist. So anyway, the black lady lets the white man ahead of her in line, um, because he has like three things and she has like probably 30 items to check out. Okay, and people letting people ahead of him actually happens quite a bit. So it tells you the character of people around here is pretty good, pretty generous. Um, okay, so the white guy, pays, I ring him up, we exchange pleasantries. How are you today, sir? Oh, how's it going, man? That kind of thing. Ring him up, okay. And then I get to the black lady. Again, remember, the black lady has just committed a good deed. So you would like to think that she is going to continue to be in a good, nice mood and treat me, the cashier, with respect. So what I do, of course, is I do my usual good morning, good afternoon, how are you? Um, and then she just kind of looks at me, and I just hate when people do this. They just kind of look at you like, you know, it's one thing if I greet them and a customer just smiles at me and doesn't say anything. That means that they're being friendly. That's fine. But when a customer like greets, or excuse me, when a customer just looks at you kind of like plain Jane like this, you say, "How are you doing?" They just go, that really ticks me off. So I scan her groceries. Now at the end, she kind of salvages herself a little bit. I say thank you. She says thank you because, unfortunately, yeah, there are customers that won't even say hi or then thank you. Unfortunately, there are some out there who just feel like, the cashier's lower than rat excrement. So anyway, that's situation number one. Situation number two. I have probably a married couple, probably in their 60s. Okay. First, the older man. comes up and he unloads. He has all his groceries that he's purchased, and he has them in this reusable bag. Okay, he puts them all on my belt. Okay, and then yeah, and I start ringing him up. Now I'm thinking that he wants me to put the groceries that I've rung up right back into his reusable bag. Or he is going to do what I like a lot of customers to do, and that is they bag their own reusable bag. Because let me tell you, plastic is a whole lot easier to deal with than a bag in a reusable bag. It just is. It's because plastic bags are smaller. You can separate things a lot easier. You can put the bread with the bread, the canned goods with the canned goods, the cleaning supplies with cleaning supplies, etc. Right? So I scan. What happens is I get done scanning all his groceries, and guess what? All the groceries are now they're on top of the bagging carousel. And the ones that couldn't fit are now like on the little itty bitty, like, couple feet of space between the scanner and the bagging carousel. And I'm just looking at the guy like, sir, what's going on here? And, finally I ask him, because he has his reusable bag in the cart. Okay, so you want me to bag the groceries in the plastic? He's like, yeah, go ahead. I'm just like really puzzled. Okay, why would you just put all your groceries in a reusable bag, only then you get to check out, you put all the groceries in plastic, right? Wouldn't it be a lot easier to just keep the reusable bag at home, put all your groceries in the cart, okay, and then do what 95% of my customers do? They put them in the cart, and then I ring them up and put them in plastic, But it's just like, this trigger couple in their 60s, they're probably starting to experience a little bit of the early signs of Alzheimer's, perhaps, or they're just getting old, starting to lose the whole, everyday human processes. Like, okay, I put my groceries in the cart, he scans them, he puts them in the bags. Instead, they're like, oh, well, I'm going to put them, the bag is now the cart, Their mind just goes all over the place. Okay, and then I have a third episode. The third and final episode, which I just thought of doing while I was doing Retail Rapids. Okay. I'm sure you're all aware that we have this little thing going around called the coronavirus, right? Okay. Now, some people think this coronavirus is the worst thing that could ever happen to American society. So what do? They go to the grocery store, they buy, they clear the shelves of everything, especially the toilet paper, ramen noodles, and canned pasta. Okay? And of course they wear their little mask and gloves everywhere, and that sort of thing. And then there's people like me. People like me who have looked at the statistics as far as deaths and reported cases of the coronavirus, and then compare them to the H1N1 of 10 years ago and the Ebola virus of 2014, and see that the H1N1 and Ebola virus numbers were a lot higher than the coronavirus, and then I can conclude that the coronavirus is, I acknowledge it's a virus, it's out there, but it is because we have a Republican president right now in the White House. The media feels like they need to pump and pump and pump and pump this coronavirus like it's the worst thing that's ever happened to America, and it's not. because when Ebola and H1N1 happened, guess what? We had a Democrat president, okay? And the media was pretty darn silent, weren't they? Yeah, they were. Okay. So, and this coronavirus, you actually have a better chance of getting in a car accident, okay? You have a better chance of getting the flu or the common cold. It's crazy. But yet, government feels like we need to shut down everything, and the media is just pumping all this fear mongering. Okay. So, which brings me to my next customer situation. Okay. Sunday, April 19th was the very last day that I could work as a cashier without wearing a mask. Okay. So I get this elderly lady, okay, and unfortunately, more than half of the elderly customers that come in can be a pain in the butt, because number one, even though I have a very fairly loud voice that can carry a ways, when I greet them, they either can't hear, or B, they just choose to ignore me because, again, the whole cashiers are lower than rat excrement. I'm a millionaire and I drive an Audi, so screw you. It's just one of those class warfare things, too. So anyway, this elderly lady, probably around 70-ish, comes through my line, and, I do what I usually do. I make eye contact with the customers there unloading their groceries, and I say, "Hi, how are you today?" And this lady is a bitch. I'm sorry to tell you, forgive my language, but as soon as I say, "Hi, how are you today, ma'am?" she just gives me one of the dirtiest looks that I've ever experienced as a cashier. She looks at me like, like just very, very mean, stern looking. Okay, so I start scanning her groceries. I'm about halfway through, and she asks me, she says, "I would like to speak to a manager." So I call my, I have a phone on my register. I call my immediate supervisor because, in retail, most of the time, the store manager, unless it's a huge, unusual situation, most of the time the store manager is too busy to be reached. So I go for my immediate supervisor, which is the customer service manager. Okay. So I tell them that I have a customer on my register and they want to speak to a manager. Okay. So they, the customer basically goes on her little rant about, I shop in here every day, and I was told that y'all were going to start wearing masks every day. So my CSM, who does a really good job, she's very calm, very polite, and just says in a normal tone that, yeah, we are, but actually it starts tomorrow, and right now it's the associate's choice whether or not they want to wear a mask or not. So, and she says, "Oh my gosh, y'all need to wear a mask," and so, and then, yeah, so. And again, the CSM says, "Ma'am, starting tomorrow, all associates are going to have to wear a mask." Okay? So, finally, CSM calms down the crotchety old grouchy lady. And, yeah. Okay, and then I continue to scan groceries as she turns to me and like, you really need to wear a mask. You're at risk of all this stuff, and I'm just like, oh, I just kind of nod, said okay, and just try to, I don't want to argue with her, but I have a very strong opinion, and what I could tell her is like, man, well, you need to take lessons in how to be polite to people, because when somebody smiles at you and greets you, you need to greet them back. That's what I should have said to her. But, She's one of these old ladies who, just thinks that, again, I'm lower than rat excrement, and she's going to treat me as such. And then she's one of these people that think that her opinion is the only opinion that should be out there. And she wants everybody to know that everybody needs to wear a mask. Why can't she? Okay, we were not busy at this time, so she could have gone to any other cashier. Okay, on this day, there's probably about 50 to 60% of my fellow cashiers were wearing masks. I was not one of them. Or she could have gone to self checkout. She could have gone to another store, for crying out loud. But no, she didn't. So, to heck with her, right? Anyway, that is all for this edition of Retail Rapids. I hope you have enjoyed it. Bye-bye.